So I'll, even though the press is having some issues with the quick lock, I'll do a more detailed, like through every die, show you every process of reloading, and we'll make a couple bullets together. But I figured I'd make a quick video on what you probably don't know about bullets. First is what the, as far as 9mm, every bullet's different. The weights are meant for. So, off the shelf, a 147 is usually your heavier defense rounds. Then there's 135. Then there's 124 NATO, which is military use, non-hollow point. It's a war crime to use hollow points in war. And then there's 115 grain target rounds, which is the round gun manufacturers assume you're going to be firing. And so the way a pistol works is its rifling is expressed as 1 in so many inches. So if you have 1 in 8, that's a higher twist rate than a 1 in 12, because that means it will do 1 360 revolution per 8 inches of travel. A higher twist rate in rifles, where it comes from, can generally, if it's too little, the bullet will tumble and go end over end, or won't stay straight accurate. Same thing if there's no rifling, the bullet can go off in any direction. If there's too much, the bullet will do what they call as overstabilizing, where the bullet spins so hard it will literally blow itself to pieces in air, or will instantly do so as soon as it contacts something, even soft flesh. Pistols, because of their super short barrel, super short effective ranges generally, have rather high twist rates, because they found at pistol velocities, which is like half of a rifle velocity, you have a tendency to be able to overspin them or stabilize them without problems. And overstabilizing on a little bit of a scale actually improves their accuracy in poor weather conditions. So manufacturers generally overstabilize just a little bit. Part of why CZ in general is known for its amazing accuracy isn't just the way the slide runs, but because they have one of the highest twist rates. So generally, the higher the twist rate in a pistol, the better heavier ammo functions, more accurate it is. And the reason that is because if you look here, I've got a 115 round nose, a 135 flat nose, so its extra weight comes obviously from being flat and bigger at the tip, and a round nose 147. Look at the round nose 147 compared to the 115. Stop rolling. Bam. Give me another one of these. Bam. There we go. See how much longer it is? So a longer bullet has more, surface area that doesn't contact the rifling counts too, but more surface area that contacts the rifling. So generally a higher weight is going to be a longer bullet, if the same shape and everything. So food for thought. I personally do not like 147 grains or plus P rounds, defense rounds, or hollow points. I think they're, if I'm completely honest, they're useless. They have more kick. Generally, most guns aren't meant to shoot them. You'll be inaccurate. Your gun will feel weird. They're not even likely to do the whole hollow point thing, but they are very likely to not be able to penetrate anything and hit somebody behind any type of soft cover. Yeah, so think about that one. Whereas this guy, who's quarter of the price at most, just a regular target round, can do all those things, and you will be more accurate and more used to your gun. Especially something like this guy. You shoot these regularly. These are one of my favorite rounds. Food for thought. So another thing people don't know is jacketing. They think that all of these are full metal jackets, exactly the same. That's not true. See how this guy's completely around like this? So he's dipped in a solution that liquid covers him and then hardens, and it's a lot harder than a real metal jacket. You also have rounds like this. See how it's hollow in the back? That changes the stability point of the round. It's not good or bad, doesn't really affect ballistics other than keeps it from tumbling in midair. This guy is one heavy little round. This guy, however, is a real jacketed round. The jackets are much higher quality, much softer. You see how it's a single piece of copper that is wrapped around the lead core bullet. Not dipped and then hardened. That's really hard. And you can actually feel the difference. Like these guys, they feel like they're wet in my hands because they're so hard and smooth. They just, everything runs off them. This guy has a freaking weird, like, it almost feels like he's lubricated. Again, wet, hard like glass. I swear it's like this guy is lubricated, actually dipped in oil when I touch him with my hands. And I don't have feeling on this side of my hands from tendon damage on either hand. They just slightly tingle, kind of. So that's literally just my perception of the surface. We can get up close. So that's a higher quality round, what you really want. Plus P rounds are positive pressure is what they stand for. Again, personally, I would avoid hollow points altogether. Most hollow points you buy off the shelf from ammunition manufacturers aren't even true hollow points. They aren't straight vertical cut in the way that they're cut. So they're just kind of like reverse cones, basically, that go in. So a regular person's clothes can even plug them so they don't expand. So they might not even hollow point at all to begin with. Not to mention, any plus P plus is very hard on a gun, wears out your springs and whatnot, and for a lot of guns, it'll actually just blow them up or break them. That is especially true for a plus P plus, which means a positive pressure, so a high pressure round, high velocity, lots of force, and then the extra plus means it's off the scale, basically. So if you don't know a lot about the bullet, even a gun like my CZ that's all steel and extremely durable, it's rated to shoot plus P plus. The wrong one will blow that fucking slide right off my gun, possibly into me. On the same note, you can go up to about 170 grain 9mm with plus P plus. That can go through an engine block. Like actually the outside, puncture through the outside into the water jackets. That's the same as a 357 Magnum. The bullet weight on those is literally the same as a 40 cal, which a 40 cal, for those who don't know, is a 10mm round. This is a 9mm. 357, almost the same diameter. Virtually identical. The bullet's not, but virtually identical. 380, I originally learned of 380s as the 9mm short. You can actually take a 380, put it in your 9mm semi-auto, and it'll fire just fine. It won't cycle the gun. It doesn't have enough blowback pressure for how strong your springs are, but it will go out the barrel and hit things with lethal force. Might not be accurate at great range. It might tumble pretty badly. But yeah, for some reason, nobody seems to know that. 38 Special believe is around the same diameter. And no one seems to know that 40 cal is 10 millimeter. There's 40 cal in here. Used to have a bunch of them. Some random bullets. There's the 40. Ooh, what's in here? People give me bullets all the time. Ah, here we go. So this is a 40 cal round. Look at the freaking diameter of that guy. Let me grab. I think I got a 9 in here. It's loaded. Or not. Here's a little finished one sitting inside this ammo thing. So look at that 9mm round compared to the 40 cal on the right. Big difference. That's a 10mm, that's a 9mm. I've heard of people wanting 1911s and whatnot chambered in 10mm, and I've never actually fired one or anything, but I've always wondered, like, what the fuck are they talking about? I thought 40 cal was 10mm. There's also 357 SIG, which is a 357 bullet with a different casing and charge than a 357 Magnum. There's 41, I believe it's AE, which is kind of like 40 cal, I believe, a little bigger. There is another 9mm that actually is a little bit smaller than a 40 cal that came out a little bit before the 40 cal and has much better ballistics, but you need a custom barrel to run it. And the 40 cal, I think the, like, was it SIG or something? It might have been the FBI came up with, and it basically went mainstream first, even though the other bullet has much better ballistic properties. Not a lot of people seem to know that either. I don't, stopping power, if that hits you, it's going to hurt exactly as bad as, say, that little thing. That'll burn. It feel like a red hot poker. I had a friend who was hit by a 45, and it did knock him down. Then he proceeded to instantly get back up, and I think he ran like multiple miles to get back to his house. I'm not fucking kidding. So, stopping power is bullshit. And that was a technically a soft point round that hit him from a pistol. Rifle rounds have much higher twist rates, longer barrels. The bullets are usually, lots of the time, lighter weights. But look at the charge behind them. They're usually smaller bullets, too. Although, you get to like 338, there's some big motherfuckers. This is a 300 Win mag, I believe. So, no slouch. Yep. More bullets that were given to us. Rifle rounds move at over 2,000 feet per second. 45 moves to like 900 or something. 9mm moves at like 11 to 13-ish feet per second. If you are hit with a kill shot, doesn't have to be a headshot, you literally instantly become incapacitated. May not be instantly dead, but you will hit the ground in shock and then die soon after. A headshot happens so quickly, your brain cannot process what happened. You just cease to exist the moment it makes impact. Why people have some desire to do this to another person or animal, I honestly have no clue. Not my thing. Now you know.